Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Good, great, fantastic. I hope you are all in a very energetic mood to attend this session and so that we move ahead and finish it with full energy. Okay, so before we begin our session, let's do a little bit of knowing of each other and then we will start with the session. So let's begin with me. I'll introduce myself and then you all will introduce yourself. After that, let's begin with the flow. So, I am Pallavi Rai and I am a yoga trainer since last 5 years. I have been certified by Ministry of Ayush level 2 and the designation is known as Yoga Wellness Instructor. Now, in the process of training and in the process of making people healthy in the holistic way, I realized my power, the power to change lives. And here I am. I am an image consultant and a corporate trainer now. Yoga is always my first love. I am still a yoga trainer, but along with that, I am now changing lives with being an image consultant and corporate trainer. Now, I would like you all to introduce yourselves. Let's begin with Rina. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Okay, who's next? Right. Yes. Too good. Next. Aryaman, you are next. Okay, cool. Oh, wow. Kunal, you're next. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so the crowd is full of experienced people. Okay, now let's begin with the session. Let me quickly share the file. Okay, so here we are. First impressions. The image which I have used is little, gray, but here it is. First impressions are like that. Let's move ahead. Okay, so I would want you all to do an activity in which you have to give one adjective for your fellow participant. You may be knowing each other or you may be totally new to each other, but I want you to give one adjective to each other, remembering your first meeting. Okay, and that could be anything. What impact that person has made in your mind in the first meeting. So let's begin. I give you 30 seconds for this and you write down adjectives for whosoever you know, you don't know, you want to write accordingly. Okay, let's begin. Okay, time up. So, what do we have here? Okay, let's start with Aryaman. Okay. So Aryaman has one adjective for his fellow participant, and that is friendly. Okay, very good. Now comes Pooja. Pooja, okay. And for you, it's serious. Okay, nice. Kunal. Kunal is saying that he met one of the participants in the group and he felt reserved, as in the participant was very reserved. Okay. Good. So let's move ahead with the session. You never get a second chance to make great first impression. What do you understand with this quote? Everyone must be having some idea or something to say about this quote, right? You never get a chance to make a great first impression. So the activity just now we did tells about this quote. So someone felt friendly, someone felt reserved, someone felt very serious. So that's the first impression, that's the first impact someone has on you. Okay. For example, Aryaman said that his fellow participant, he found him very friendly. That was the first time he is meeting. Okay. And so this person has already made that impact on him. Friendly. So now when Aryaman will remember about this person, he will always remember friendly. Okay? Okay. So I hope everyone has this quote in their mind and keep this quote in your mind now forever. Next, I would like you all to ask which one will you choose? It's the properly clean, iron, folded clothes or the clothes with dirty, unironed in a bin. Which side will you choose? Okay, so everyone is with the clean folded clothes. Okay, next we move to this. So, which side will you choose again? Which cake will you attack first? I'm very sure the brown cake. Okay, next one. Now tell me, if you are ill and you have to visit a doctor, which person will you choose? Of course, you will choose the one who is looking like a doctor and not the one who is not looking like a doctor, who has tattoo on his hands and is wearing a sleeveless t-shirt and a very casual body language. Okay, right. Okay, so based on your selections, I would like to ask, why did you choose those pictures? Okay. Yeah, it was looking clean and it was looking good and the cake was neat. Okay. Got it. Okay. So let's come to what are first impressions. So first impressions are impressions that strangers form of you in the first 3 seconds or 5 seconds. So just see the time span. It is 3 to 5 seconds. That's it. That means someone just looked at you and the impression is already formed, right? So now tell me, first impressions, what do you mean by impression? What is an impression? Define impression. What is impression? Anyone? Anyone can define impression. Okay, Reena, let's hear it from you. Okay. Abhishek? Okay. Right. So, impression is any idea, any feeling, or an opinion about a person. And it's not only about a person, about anything, right? It could be anything. It could be a furniture, it could be an animal, it could be a piece of garment, it could be anything. So, an opinion, an idea you form about someone is called an impression. Okay? And this impression is formed on the basis of very little evidence you have, right? Very little. Of course, when you are looking at someone and within 3 to 5 seconds, what evidence do you have? You don't know the person, you don't know the background, you don't know anything about this person, right? So, this is called impression. Now, first impression. First impression is the impressions which you make immediately after looking at something. The first impression. Okay? Now, there are brief synopsis of the story that is you, enough to judge whether you are an adventure or political thriller, science fiction, romance, comedy, or fantasy, right? So, this first impression forms the whole story in someone's mind about you, right? Whether you are friendly, whether you are an angry young man, whether you like adventure, everything comes in this 3 to 5 seconds. So that's enough for them to decide whether they want to know more about you or reject you right there. Very correct. So, when one of the participants said that my fellow participant, I found him very reserved. So, what would you decide about this person? You want to go ahead in relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, or you are pulling yourself back from this. Of course, you will not go ahead because you found him reserved. And then you calculate in your mind that if this person is so reserved and so closed, so when you talk or when you converse with this person, it's not a full circle, it's not coming through, it's only one sided from your side. So there and there you decide that okay, I'm not going ahead with this person, right? Some call them snapshots of polaroids, very true, and some call them thin slices. Yet others say it's judging the book by its cover. So, the quote goes like, don't judge the book by its cover. But trust me, the reality is we all judge the book by its cover. We all do it. It's an involuntary action of yours, of your mind, of your brain. I'll come to it, like why we form the first impressions. I'll come to it. Okay. Not only are the first impressions quick to form, but they last forever. Exactly. The more quickly we form it, they last forever. Once an image is formed, it is going to last. Whether or not you're aware of it, at any given point of time, you have on to display some facets. Now, what are facets? I'll come to it. While a few may remain the same, others change with changing business, social gatherings, or personal situations. Based on these facets, strangers form quick first impressions and use them to derive conclusions about your overall personality. Right? Now, my question is, which of these facets do you display? Are you aware of the ones that you display? Is there more to you than the facets you currently display? Okay, now tell me what facets are. What do you mean by facet? In general layman term, what do you mean by facets? Mm-hmm. Anyone? Anyone can answer? Yeah, different sides. Correct. Very correct. So facets means the different sides you have, right? A person has different sides. Some you display, some you don't. Correct? Okay. Now what happens is you are sometimes not aware what people are perceiving about you, what people are thinking about you. Okay? You are not aware of it. According to you, you are perfect in public. But are you truly giving the message you want to, or is there a gap in that? That is called the facets part. You know, there are areas of yourself that you're not fully aware of. Very true. Added to that, the fact that you don't always know the facets that you display, some of your strengths remain hidden while the stranger sees your tiny weaknesses. Are you getting the point? If we don't know ourselves properly, truly, our authentic self, people may perceive you as they want, not as I want. Understanding this part? Okay. Let me explain you from this side. You want people to know what you want them to know, or you want people to know what they want to think about you? What is it? Of course, the first one, right? You want them to think what you want to send the message as about yourself. But what happens? Because we are not aware of ourselves that much, or we don't think too seriously about the impressions, we display the facets which should not be displayed. And because the strengths remain hidden, it is hidden. We are not being able to get through it. Right? Had you been aware, you would have taken greater care of yourself, isn't it? And what you display so that the stranger has a good chance of forming a powerful first impression of you. How true is it? I so believe in this. So once I know my strength, I know what I am from inside, I know what I have to display to the world. I would only give that message what I want the people to know and not what they want to think about me. Right? Right. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, now, so there are four elements to create an impactful first impression. First is clothing, second is vocal, third is grooming, fourth is body language and etiquettes. Right? So now what do you mean by clothing? कपड़े तो हर कोई पहनता है, क्लोथिंग का क्या है इसमें काम है? क्या हो सकता है क्लोथिंग का? So clothing plays a very big part in this. So remember the slide I had shown you where the doctor is in a picture wearing red t-shirt and in a picture he's wearing his doctor's attire. So everyone chose the white picture. Why? Because his clothing is telling you that he is a doctor and he may be a good doctor. That you are perceiving about him, right? Because of the clothing. You couldn't trust the red t shirt person who has tattoos on his hands. You made the first impression, अरे ये क्या डॉक्टरी करेगा, right? So that is the impact of clothing in us. Your appearance, your clothing, you're wearing what, where, according to the occasion or not, according to your role or not, right? So I cannot wear a shorts and a t-shirt to a professional background. Why? That's the decorum. You have to be in proper dress, professional dress in a professional setup. But yes, you can wear a shorts in a beach. The same way you cannot wear a math suit to a beach. Like you can. But would it be easy, relaxed? No. So, clothing is very important. You have to see the role, you have to see the goal, where you are going, why you are going, what will you do there, what is your part to be played, and then accordingly you have to choose your clothes. Now, second comes vocal, or I would say, second, let's take grooming, right? So, what is grooming? Clothing is done. Now, what is grooming? Tell me. Very easy. Yes. If you have taken bath or not, a nails cut or not, if your hair is grown too much, beard, untidy, tidy, hygienic, not hygienic. Yes, that is grooming. So after clothing, you have to even take care of grooming. Every place has a different environment and ambience. Like, for example, doctors, lady doctors cannot have long nails. They cannot wear nail polish. They cannot wear makeup. Their hair has to be tied up. They cannot have tattoos, right? The same way, chefs. Have you seen chefs? Their nails have to be cut properly. Their hair has to be covered. Their head has to be covered. They have to wear apron. Why? These are all the decorum of the place. Because the chef is cooking food and you don't want his hair in the dishes. Do you want that? No, right? And you don't want a doctor with long nails while checking you or examining you, her nails poking in your body. Do you want that? Of course not. We don't want that. Okay, let's talk about teachers. Teachers have a particular way of appearing in front of their students, isn't it? So, clothing and grooming, first and second. Okay, then let's move to vocal, how you communicate. So, other than your vocal communication, your appearance is also communicating, right? You're communicating with your eyes. People are communicating with your eyes. Vocal communication is how you greet a person, how you respond verbally in a situation, what you speak, how politely you speak, right? And then comes your body language and etiquettes. Now, what is body language? Suppose you're talking to me. Okay, suppose I'm talking to you, right? I'm right now in this session, I'm speaking, and someone is doing like this and not sitting properly here and there and looking down. So that's a negative body language, right? Why? Because we are in a session, we are in a training session, and you're supposed to listen to me, right? Understand what the training is trying to teach you. Also, you have to concentrate on the activities. So if you do this and that, it is a distraction for the trainer, or maybe the trainer will feel that the training is not going interesting for you participants, right? That's body language. Or suppose uh, two people are meeting for the second time or third time, and the moment I see the person, I just turn my head like this. That means what? I'm trying to avoid the person. है ना? हम सब करते हैं कभी कभी ऐसा. It's not like we don't do this. We do it very often. That if we don't like someone or we're trying to avoid someone, we do this. अरे वो सामने से आ रहा है, हम दूसरा रास्ता पकड़ लेते हैं. Or maybe if we have to, have to face, then our body language tells that yes, I don't like this person. It happens. It's an involuntary action. So, to avoid all these negative impacts of first impression, you have to be very intentional about it, very conscious, very aware, so that the right message passes towards the other person. Okay? Okay. Let's move to this video. I want you all to watch this video, and then I will ask uh, about this, what happened in it, and why it happened. And if at all it happened, is it true? Okay, let's go for it. Okay, everyone. Now tell me what happened in this video. Okay, let me explain. What happened is Julia Roberts, the heroine, she was in a very skimpy dress and she went for shopping to the high-end brands. So, did you notice how the sales executives were looking at her? They're looking her down. They openly told her that you don't belong to this place, even though she said that she has money to buy. But because of her appearance and because of her uh, behavior and body language, she had to face that, right? So then a question is, are first impressions always reliable? Are they? So, according to researchers, people are fairly accurate in forming first impressions. But certain factors influence the accuracy of the impression. Some of us are easier to judge, some persons are better judges, and person's motivation too can influence accuracy. So, to be truthful, there are times when first impressions miss the mark too. Yes. First impressions are mostly reliable, or I would say, first impression is the impression you hold for a long time until unless someone tries to break it. Um, but yes, first impressions sometimes miss the mark, just like what it happened here. She had money, she could have bought, but because of her dress, because of her attitude, she was denied. So the impression they made was wrong, right? And again, the picture I showed you about the doctor wearing the dress and not wearing the dress, it could be easily possible that the doctor who is not wearing his coat may be a very good doctor. And the person who is wearing the uniform, he may not be that good, you know? So the first impressions sometimes miss the mark, right? So it is very important for us to be intentional, cautious, aware of what message we are giving, right? So that the person who is forming an first impression about me is what I want him to form. Now, why do we form first impressions? What is it? Why? ऐसा क्या है फर्स्ट impression में? So the first impression is a primal command. Suppose you are in a jungle and one is a prey and one is, the one who is hunting. So the quicker I can measure whether I am safe or not, the quicker the journey begins for me, right? I meet people and my brain wants the information whether this is a friend or foe, good or bad, enemy, competitor, not competitor, what? I want to gauge it immediately. Same happens in the animal kingdom. Animals are gauging immediately whether this person is going to, whether this animal is going to attack or not, right? And then the plan starts whether to run or whether not to run. Same way we human beings are also. We have to form that impression, we have to identify, we have to categorize in which category they fall. We have to know immediately everything. Why? Just to save ourselves. Okay? So, labeling gives us an orientation. Like friendly, this person is friendly. Okay, I can talk to him, I can head towards him. This person is not friendly, is very reserved. Keep him at the back of my mind. Okay. So it's a way to make a bewildering world more predictable. To sum it up, first impressions form within seconds. They are formed from the multiple elements that you display each moment of your life. First impressions are extrapolated to other areas of personality to create comprehensive impressions. First impressions are self fulfilling prophecies and create lasting impressions. First impressions are a factor of you, the stranger, and the situation. Once formed, further interactions are used to confirm the first impressions. First impressions were found to reflect information formed at the end of the long interactions. The body of knowledge and experience of the event is added to the long term memory based on the emotional impact. The science behind the first impression is made of four elements. So, everyone, what did we learn from all this? So, our first learning is we have to be very much self aware, right? Second important thing is we have to live an intentional life. That is, we have to present ourselves very intentionally. If you want to have an impact, powerful impact on others, if you don't care, then doesn't matter. But I want people to think about me like the way I want, not like they want. So I will have to be very cautious, very intentional about my presentation. Right? Third, our appearance, grooming, body language, and communication. Everything should be according to the requirement of the environment you are in. Right? So here we end our session. I hope you learned, you had a learning from this session, and I really hope that you implement in your life. It will really take you forward in your professional setups, in your personal life, and hoping to see you all soon. Bye bye. Take care.